Woo! Trump just delivered a huge blow through the Supreme Court to the alphabet community, and they are pissed. But do y'all really want to go there? Do you really want to go there? How are you good people doing, my American brothers and sisters? Welcome to the channel. I am Ty Smith. You're watching my channel, Modern Renaissance Man, which I'm greatly appreciative of. Make sure you guys are following me on the platforms that you see above and below. Click the thumbs up button there with my content can stay consistently recommended to you. And if and when you do subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification in the process that will allow you to end up getting notified when I post a video. Last but not least, don't forget to go check out my other YouTube channel that's called Man, Husband, Father. There is some content that's there, and it's about being a man, being a husband, and being a father in that order, okay? And we're going to be taking deep dives into some real things that will be beneficial to you as a man, husband, and a father, and beneficial to you as wives, mothers, all that good stuff. It's for everybody. Don't worry about any political commentation going on over there, okay? Okay? Okay. All right, so guys, Trump, through the Supreme Court, which I know y'all have already heard, has delivered a huge blow to the transgenders of the military. And they are not pleased, and they have issues with it. The Supreme Court sided with Trump in banning trans from the military. Listen to this.
A little bit earlier today, as we mentioned, the Supreme Court handed down a victory for the Trump administration, allowing a policy barring transgender people from serving in the military now. Lower courts, as you know, previously blocked that ban nationwide. And WJZ is live at 11 o'clock tonight. Ashley Paul has more on how this ban will impact Maryland service members. And Ashley, you spoke with a local organization.
So just to keep it real with y'all, pretty much the people who are transgender and had the accommodations and surgeries and things like that in the military, Trump pretty much is saying, you're fired, fired, F-I-R-E-D, fired. Just saying. What is this?
Now coming to defend some of our military workers.
Yeah, Rick. Well, Annapolis Pride is taking a stand against the decision by this morning announcing that the Grand Marshal of their upcoming Pride Parade is also one of the highest ranking officers in the U.S. military.
I know at my core what I stand for, and I believe in the ideals of America and the oath that I swore to defend.
18 years in the United States Air Force, plus 4 years and counting in the Space Force. Colonel Bree Fram has dedicated her life to...
See, that's where it's going wrong at. Her. See, her. This is why. Okay.
Serving her country. But a decision by the Supreme Court today brings into question whether her country can support her in return.
Notice how they throwing that her out there. That's a man. It's a man.
When that ruling came out, I and thousands of other transgender service members were doing the jobs and the missions that the military has assigned to us.
Which were? Can we know what they were? I would like to know what they are. And we're going to get deeper into this, folks, because I'm going to let y'all know. This man very well may be telling the truth. This man right here most likely got the physical capabilities to do all the things that are required to do in the military that men do. Men. Some of y'all not catching on.
Colonel Fram is one of an estimated 15,000 transgender troops currently serving in the United States military, whose jobs could now be in jeopardy. It was back in January when President Donald Trump signed an executive order that targeted active and prospective service members with...
Notice how they're using words like target. He's targeting them. See what I'm saying? These people are very, very, very conniving with their ways and the ways that they're using their words. Trump is not targeting them. What Trump executive order did is going to affect those that are trans to a certain extent, is what they're not telling you. It's to a certain extent, but we're going to see more. I'll let y'all know what I mean by a certain extent.
With gender dysphoria, quoting the military targeted active and prospective service members with gender dysphoria, quoting the military's, quote, high standards for troop readiness, lethality, cohesion, honesty, humility, uniformity, and integrity, end quote. He went on to say, quote, medical, surgical, and mental health constraints on individuals with gender dysphoria are not consistent with those standards.
medical, surgical, and mental health constraints on individuals with gender dysphoria.
It really shows that we have a lot of work to do
No, we
to
don't.
make sure that all of the members of the LGBTQ plus community are seen as actual humans. Because at its core,
this is what I do not like that people like to do. What do you mean seen as human? It's obvious that you are a human being, but you are a human being with issues. Gender dysphoria, mental illness, self-deletion runs rampant upon y'all. The affirmation surgeries and the long-term effects of those surgeries and the things that you have to keep taking and doing after those surgeries, like he said, it's going to affect what you do and your performance and your readiness and cohesion in the military. There are men who are not part of y'all community who don't even meet the standards for getting in there. Gosh, I mean, they had all kind of flat foot, hands they measure your fingers and all that. You can't grip good. I mean, they had all kinds of things to get into the military. So were they targeting flat foot people? Do y'all know who Goggins is? This dude was a monster. He was like 300 some pounds and lost like 150 or some plus pounds like in months. He is crazy up here in a good way. But he did what he needed to do to get into that program. So what I'm saying is this: if they have standards and everything set, it's not, look, you can be a trans in the military right now. But if you're dealing with those things that they just listed, those things are what they don't need to be having you as a military personnel in the military that can end up posing a danger to the rest of your fellow brothers and sisters in the military.
or what this administration is trying to do is trying to separate out individual pieces of our community and really strip away people's humanity. And we're seeing that through the decision that came today.
Joe Toolin with Annapolis Pride says this is why he chose Colonel Fram to be a Grand Marshal in this month's upcoming Pride Parade, to show a perfect example of a top-ranking officer in the military who lives as her authentic self.
No, because if it was authentic, you would be a man. That's not authentic. This is what we're saying. You need to look at this for what it is. No matter how much you try to push it out there, you're a man. I get that you think and you feel and all that, but that does not make that absolutely 100% certain. It doesn't. In fact, it's 100% not. You are not a woman. I don't care about how many dresses you put on, how much makeup you put on, the eyelashes, the hair. You are doing nothing but playing makeup. You're playing costume. That's all you're playing. You're being an actor or an actress is what you're being. You're acting that is not your true authentic self. Well, who are you to say that? I'm looking at you. You got a ding-a-ling. You got balls. Huh? Your testosterone levels, your chromosomes. But it's amazing that no matter how clear God can make it that this is what you are, y'all still say, no, that's not right because it's about what I think or what I feel.
She's just like all of us. She's trying to serve this country. She's trying to make this country a better place.
And Colonel Fram says despite this ruling, that's what she plans to continue to do.
Did you know that there are people in the military right now that have been discharged from the military because of their mental status? You know how many patients I come across that are veterans? That there's like, oh, I was at my 15-year mark and I just completely crashed out. They tried to give me antidepressant. I just couldn't. They got honorably discharged. 15 years and stuff like that. These are straight men, straight women that these things have happened to, because they would tell me things like, I would pose a danger to, if we had to go out there and have to be in combat and I'm dealing with these issues and things like that, I can end up getting someone killed or getting my own self killed because of my instability. They need you to be ready, be sharp, be ready to go, not dealing with your feelings. And can you imagine? Because we can get into some deep stuff after this. Hold on.
I've served over 22 years in uniform. And if there's one thing I can guarantee, that whether it is in uniform or not, my time of service is not done.
It is now. No, let me stop.
Now, Colonel Fram says she plans to continue to do her job to the best of her ability every day until she is no longer able or allowed to. And she hopes to inspire people at that Pride Parade on May 31st in Annapolis by letting them know that trans people are just as capable of serving as anybody else in uniform.
I completely would 100% agree with you if they didn't have to have the military do all these accommodating factors. Your surgery, the medication for your surgery, the medication that you're going to take for the rest of your life after the surgery, the procedures of putting glorified silver dildos in a gaping wound down there with your fake vagina until it turns into nothing more than like a pierced ear hole. They got to deal with all of that. What if something happens? What if war goes down? What if we get attacked and you got to sit there and deal with your gaping wound hole? You got to deal with the medication that's throwing your liver off, throwing your kidneys off and all that. What if you got to deal with all, what about you? And one of the biggest things that's amongst that community is the self-deletion rate. Giving you medication for that. See what I'm saying? That's dealing with trans people that deal with these things in the military that have done these things. Now imagine that being a straight person in the military that's not dealing with what the trans people are dealing with, and they still can get discharged because of their mental status, because now it's starting to affect their physicality and what they can do out there on the field. It's starting to bother them. PTSD and all that stuff is kicking in for who knows what. But if they end up saying, hey, you know, this is not, you know, you're not meeting the standard. You can't do it. But I tell you what, this is what makes on me. This what really what I really want to get down to is this. Y'all are coming together over these trans folks that's being discharged from the military because of those things that Trump named off. But y'all had nothing to say about Christians when they didn't want to take the Fauci hokey pokey clot shot and they were being kicked out of the military by the Biden administration. Y'all had nothing to say about that when that was legit discrimination based on religion. Well, this is sexual orientation. No, it's not. Because guess what? In the military, as a Christian, you didn't have to sit there and accommodate no Christians in the military. You didn't have to accommodate their religious beliefs in the military. You want to know why? It required no physicality. It was none affecting how they performed on the field. Huh? Oh, yeah. Y'all thought I was going to let that slide? Y'all was all for them being kicked out of the military because they didn't want to take the Fauci hokey pokey clot shot, which did not have them having that clot shot had nothing to do with how they performed on that field. But guess what it could do? It can hinder them. I know they're not going to show y'all all these things, but it did hinder a lot of them. Why? Because they end up having myocarditis and pericarditis and other things, organ failure, women having irregular periods and things like that after they got the Fauci hokey pokey clot shot. But for the religious ones, and they didn't even have to be religious necessary, they didn't want to get it and they got kicked out, y'all was all for it. But now because the military is saying they're not going to accommodate and having to do these things to accommodate somebody going through the transitional phase of getting a ding-a-ling cut off and having a gaping hole shoved up them, or a woman getting her vajayjay vacuumed down and putting a prosthetic penis down there, getting rid of her mammary glands, and having to go through all of that because they say they don't want to accommodate that anymore. They're not going to do it. Now y'all got a problem. Now it's because y'all are not human. Y'all not looked at as being human. Yeah, okay, yeah. And anyway, and as for that man that was in the military, with all the accolades, wearing the dress and everything like that, whatever he did on the field when he did it, the performance and how he did it was still that of a man. Say what you want to. He still did that as a man. The way he jumped over the logs, climbed the rope, he did that with the strength and agility of a man. Period. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think of this by putting it in the comments below at this video. Don't forget to do what you see in the animation right here. And don't forget, if you want to see the next video that I will be doing most likely in order, it's going to be that one right up there. Things I do as a variety. It's going to be right here. I am Ty Smith, Modern Renaissance Man, and I hope and pray that every last one of you guys have food, shelter, and clothing. Most of all, praying every last one of you guys are in great health, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. God bless you all.